Oop. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back for another episode of the Men Like Us podcast with Chris. This is not one of the Men Talk panels. This is another one-on-one with a good friend of mine. We go back a few years. We worked together in TV, and she's definitely a very dope person. But before I introduce my guest, I would like to offer my traditional trigger warning. This is the official trigger warning. All right. We are here to have honest conversations. This may not be as triggering as the other guy conversations, but, I'm going to still say how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to have some honest conversation, and it's going to be dope. This should be a really good episode. This should help folks, I guess. I'm really all about helping to bring people together, and I'm really about helping the guys, get themselves ready for dating, and, ladies that's watching, help y'all get ready for dating too. Both sides got to come together. So without further ado, I am going to introduce my friend, my good friend, Abby Rosenblum. She is a professional matchmaker. So it's a real life matchmaker, y'all.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Chris, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to, chat with you, catch up a little bit. We haven't seen each other in a while.
It has been a minute. And, I just would assume that you would never want to be on camera in anything that I'm involved in ever again. You guys out there have no idea. We did another YouTube series called DBL Jump, or the Jump Off. And Abby was the talent, and I was the producer, and I was very nice and pleasant. I'm just going to say that up front.
You know what, Chris? I want to give you credit for making me have, a good on-air presence and help me with that, because you yelled at me a lot and it worked. It helped.
Yeah, I was very mean. I was very mean, y'all. I was very mean when we were making our other. Yeah. Oh, and see, Pearl. That's my friend Pearl. Happy to be fucking with a real matchmaker. So yeah. And so while Abby is based in Denver, I'm gonna just tell you business. She's based in Denver. Are you thinking about going national? Is this what I'm hearing? Is this a thing or no?
The pandemic has, really allowed me to grow my matchmaking business and reach so many more people. I actually hosted a virtual speed dating event last night that was nationwide. We actually even had someone who was in Ecuador. He was traveling, but still, it was cool to reach so many people. And, since everyone, is more open to video chat and virtual dates, it really expands the dating pool and, helps you be able to meet more people. So if anything, I almost think the pandemic has been a positive for dating. I know that is not a majority opinion.
Yeah, no, it has not been positive for dating in general. I guess it's been a little bit more positive for me because something finally worked out eventually after this whole fucking long ass pandemic. But look, we're gonna just jump right into it. Let's see here. So, Abby, you have a podcast. It's called, what is it called? Ghosted?
Ghosted. It's all about, ghost stories, people who got ghosted, people who've been ghosted. And then I also interview different people on all kinds of different dating topics and share a little of my wisdom as well.
Okay. Well, look, there's one episode and it really intrigued me and piqued my interest. So this episode that you have is called Chemistry versus Compatibility. And if you could, I just want you to give the people like a Cliff Notes version of what that was all about.
Totally. So, chemistry and compatibility are, two huge buzzwords we hear in dating, but I don't know if everyone understands exactly what they mean or what they feel like. So, when I am setting someone up on a date or when I'm talking to someone after a date and hearing how it went, I want to know, were you physically attracted to the person? That's pretty important.
Very important.
Did you feel like you were compatible in that you have shared values, similar interests, or can at least appreciate each other's interests, maybe similar, faith and beliefs, if that's something that's important to you. And then chemistry is the third thing. And, I don't always expect chemistry to happen on the first date. So, if we watch movies and TV, we may expect, in this rom-com, they meet and fireworks. I found my soulmate.
Fucking Disney and Tyler Perry ruined people's lives out here. Okay. There's a lot of ladies that ain't gonna find love or happiness because they expect it to look like fucking Tyler Perry movie. Shit's not real, y'all. It's not real. Okay.
It's not.
It's just love shit is complicated. Don't fall into place perfectly all the time.
And if you do have that feeling, on a first date where you're like, whoa, I'm just so into this person. There's, I'm infatuated. That's almost a bad sign. I know that this may come as a surprise to a lot of people, but if you are just having this instant connection that is so crazy, maybe you go on a 9-hour date, that's a red flag to me if my clients are doing that. And it can be a sign of some shared trauma that one of you is picking up on. So I wouldn't say it's like, get out of town, leave that date now, but it would be like, let's assess this and, why is it this infatuation is happening right off the bat?
So, something that happens in the, and Abby's been watching some videos. She's been doing some research, y'all. So she's not completely new in all this stuff. But, in the trans community, when it comes to dating, and I want to know which one of these categories this fits into. The one thing that's always crucial for the girls is, like education of the men. So, one key component is how much does a guy know? Is he really learned in these trans issues? And does he have the knowledge base to, I guess not seem like a dumbass or irritate the woman or drag them down or anything like that? So, you hear a lot of girls and they say, well, I'm not going to be his teacher. I ain't nobody's teacher. I ain't teaching this man the basic shit about trans folks in the community and blah, blah, blah. Or I'm not going to teach him the language and he needs to just get it together himself. And, some women are willing to have that grace and help people understand certain things and help them grow. But a lot of girls aren't about that shit. And, with this chemistry, compatibility, and physical attraction, I just think this is like a fourth one, maybe, unless it falls into one of the other three. But it's just it's an added factor in all this stuff. And, it's definitely, it's just, there are a few things where it's just like, we got a mismatch on where people are and where they want their mates to be.
Yeah. And I almost think what you're talking about could be a fourth thing. And maybe it even falls into compromise. And I always tell people, compromise and communication are the most important things in a relationship. Of course, you don't want to compromise beyond, your beliefs and values and everything. But, maybe being understanding of someone's background and where they came from and what they've been through, it's a compromise on both ends to maybe do your research, on as a guy, who maybe is dating a trans woman, maybe do some research so more about their background. It's kind of like even if you date someone of a different religion, maybe you might want to know, they go to church every Sunday, they go to a mosque, they go to a synagogue, whatever it is,
Deal breaker. Deal breaker.
What is
this
a deal
guy's
breaker?
Not getting up every Sunday. I'm not waking up early on no damn Sunday to go to your church. And look, see, trigger warning. You've been warned. So, and also, I ain't gonna lie. I look kind of strange at some trans folks that like to go to church because especially, and I'm mostly speaking from the Black perspective because the Black church has not been friendly at all to anyone in the LGBT community. And it's like, why are you going to this place that like preaches against who you are? Like it preaches against you. Like, I don't even see the wisdom in that shit. Like I would never, I don't know. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I get that you have your faith and all that stuff, but I just would make sure I find a place that is amenable to LGBT folks and a place where the pastors are going to get up and say, trans and all this other junk is a sin and you're wrong and you're going to hell and all this other junk. But people do that. They do it. That's funny, weird. It's a deal breaker. Not going to church. Chris likes to sleep in and he likes to party. That's one thing Abby knows about me.
Yes, I definitely know that about you. So you're always down for a late night. Good time. So you got to come back to Denver soon.
Yeah, the Halloween party was fun. That was a fun night. I still have pictures from that night. It was fun. But back to this relationship stuff. Uh-oh. Wait.
Oh, we have a question, it looks like.
Yeah. So wait, I don't know what this means. What she said, if I'm infatuated and find interest in him in that way, or that we connect right off the bat, why is that a red flag? Why, Abby? Why?
So, if you have a connection, I'm not saying that's a red flag. I just think it's when you have that infatuation right off the bat, you're like, oh, we just clicked. It was amazing. That can sometimes mean that there's that shared trauma that you're clicking on. It can be a whole wide array of things, and I'm definitely no trauma expert or anything like that. I have a therapist I work very closely with a lot of my clients, because this can happen where it's when you go on that 6-hour date, and it sounds like a good thing. You're like, oh, we got drinks and then we got dinner and then we got more drinks and then we went over to their house and this, that, and the other thing. First dates, really, my advice is to keep it to an hour to 2 hours, 2 drinks, and then leave something for the imagination, keep that curiosity, make sure you want to get to know them more, but really, try to keep those first dates to a shorter period. And then you can build that chemistry, compatibility, physical attraction, all of it in a slow and much more kind of easy progression.
Are you advocating against sex on the first date? Is that what I'm hearing right now?
So
something for the imagination.
I don't really advise anybody to have sex on the first date unless that's what you're looking for. If that's what you want, if you just want someone to have sex with, then yes, go for it. And I'm not judging anyone who wants that, because there's lots of people who are searching for that specific thing. But if you're looking for a deeper relationship, I would say at least wait till after the first date. Please.
I mean, dang, if they're looking for it, why even go through the date? Just do it. Shit.
Yeah, right. Just go over to their house.
What's the point?
So there's nothing wrong with that.
There's chemistry versus compatibility, or you got the 3 things here: the chemistry, compatibility, and the sexual attraction. So what if you were telling me about if the chemistry is missing, but you're compatible and you're sexually attracted to each other? How do you get that third part?
Yeah. So, it can build. I definitely think it can. It's about being vulnerable. It's about being honest with one another. There is a certain point where you may say, this chemistry isn't building. That can happen. And to me, chemistry is the most fascinating and frustrating thing to me. As running a business and setting people up on dates, I can't really predict chemistry. I can predict physical attraction and I can predict compatibility, but chemistry is kind of up to the people. If someone's having a bad day, or maybe they just had a terrible thing happen at work and now they're on a date, then maybe that chemistry won't be there. So, let the chemistry build if maybe it isn't there at first. If you have those other things, and, give the person 3 dates is usually what I suggest, because everyone is nervous on a first date. I mean, there isn't anyone in this world who isn't. I personally was a serial dater before I finally got all wifed up, and, I was nervous every date.
Yeah, 3 dates is definitely, but I'm not going to lie, I couldn't make it. I can't make it 3 dates sometimes. And it's just the second one, I'm like, yep, I'm out.
Yeah, if you know for sure it's a no, then definitely you don't have to do the 3 dates.
Yeah. It's just okay. Well, I'm sorry.
We have another question, it looks like.
Yes. We got Pearl back at it again. How do you date from a pandemic perspective when we are all indoors almost all the time and we have obviously turned to dating sites? Do we keep chats to a minimum too? How do we learn to just give enough?
Yes. Oh, I love this
Or
question.
to give just enough. Sorry, I read that wrong.
So, I definitely don't tell people not to be on dating apps. I think you should use every outlet you can to meet someone. Dating apps, matchmakers, friends, sitting in a coffee shop when we can. So, if you are on dating apps, the things that I advise are to keep your chats in there to a minimum. So, if you can really limit it to like 5 to 10 messages each, and then try to get off the app. Maybe do a phone call, do a video call. People are so much more comfortable on video now because we're all in Zoom meetings all day, every day for work. So, do the video call so that way you don't feel like you're wasting all day texting someone, who even knows if they look like their photos, that is definitely,
Shit.
and maybe they're
These
just
girls be
asking
out here with these
someone.
fucking filters and shit. Look, on all trans dating apps, filters need to be banned forever. Like girls be having all their pictures got filters on them. I'm like, how the fuck do you even look? Like I can't even tell how you really look because everything's got a filter. Everything is softened up. And I get it, it's trying to be more ladylike and all that stuff, and put a soft sheen on things, but that shit ain't gonna save you from my reaction when I show up to see you in person. Like when I show up and you looking let's just say different. For me, I'm willing to give people a chance. It's just going to put a stain of dishonesty on the relationship. Because at that point, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. It just feels like I'm dealing with a person who's willing to be dishonest, and I don't like it. And that happened to me in Denver, quite a few times in Denver, where there were girls that just didn't look like their pictures. Some of them were using like 3-4-year-old pictures. Like the fuck. But on the chat thing, yes, ladies, please don't fuck around on these dating apps. Don't get on this shit just to be chatting with motherfuckers all the time. Like that was my biggest pet peeve is like chicks would just want to chat and chat and chat. And I'm looking for the quickest way to be like, okay, so when do we meet up? Because I'm here to date and I don't know what the fuck you're here for if you're not here for that. But I'm here to meet up with somebody in real life, or I'm here to get on a video chat, or, let's get on Instagram and video chat or whatever else. But like there were some girls that just would stick to the app, or they would move the chatting to another app, but they didn't want to do video. And I'm like, why can't this chick do video?
I think that's a sign they may not be serious about meeting up.
Well, I think that there's a lot of self-conscious people in this dating pool. In my dating pool in the trans world, I think like I had one girl where, we talked on the phone a lot, but I never knew how she looked. And then I got pictures that didn't really show how she looked. And then like once she finally video chatted with me, what I got was a whole nother picture. And I'm like, the fuck is that? Like that ain't the pictures that I just got. But it's guys, get on the video chat early, and put some fucking pictures on your social media. Nothing grinds my gears more than people with no social media. Like in 2020, if you don't have any social media, that's a red flag. Like big ass red flag. If I can't go on your social media and just see different pictures of you and see how you look, you don't have a social media presence, that's a problem. For me, that's a problem. Right. I find it weird and I don't like it. I guess I offer so much. I offer so much of a window into my world. Like all you have to do is all you need is for me to accept a friend request or a request on Instagram. And then you can see all my pictures. You can see unflattering pictures. You can see pictures of me and my family, all that shit. And then I have, a litany of pictures. And then what you have is like one. And I'm like, how are you living in 2020 and you're an adult in this dating world? You ain't got no social? None? That's weird to me. I'm sorry. It makes me feel like you're trying to hide and you're trying not to show what you really look like and you're not as open as possible. Like I just think it's a red flag. I don't I don't appreciate it too much.
That's so interesting. I
I just
usually
don't.
hear the opposite of,
Mm.
people wanting to date someone. They're like, oh, I don't want them to be obsessed with social media or
There's a
obsessed
difference
with
between
posting
being obsessed
photos.
and
Yeah,
living. Like, it's not being obsessed, but I'm gonna put you on the spot here. How old are you?
27.
You're 27. You have been posting on social media since you were in college,
High
right?
school.
High
High school.
school. So, guy comes along, meets Abby, and says, "Hey, wow, you look great. We're talking on the chat or whatever else, and I'm going to friend request you, or I'm going to check out your social media on Instagram." And then
Mhm.
all they see on Instagram is just your profile picture and no actual post. Like, that's weird. I'm sorry.
That
It's
would have
weird.
been me.
It's
All
weird.
my social media
Dude, you
is
had more than that
totally
on your.
private.
We're not doing this right now. We're not playing these games.
Besides
I'm looking at all this right now.
the
See?
modern Yenta,
Nah, the
she's
other one.
public.
Yeah, nah, the other one. See? Yep.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
are you putting me on blast right now?
Stop playing on my broadcast. Playing on my broadcast.
I had to go through and delete all my pictures from high school and college so no one would judge
Well,
me.
that's part of just social media maintenance in the
Oh my
21st
God.
century, and you have to maintain your social media. I get that,
You
but
do.
I see it as a huge red flag, and it's just like, huh, what's wrong? Why is this person trying to hide? Like, what are they trying to hide?
Mm.
Why are they living a secretive life? What are they trying to hide from? What is going on? So I see that, and I'm just like, that's strange because most of the people I know, they post pictures with their family, their dog, the whatever. I mean, dating profiles require you have like 5 or 6 photos. Why not just drop that shit on a Facebook profile? Like, I don't know. Holding up the conversation, talking about my weirdness, and just really just I don't know, my alarm that rings when people don't have social media.
Mhm.
I
So
know
how
not
much,
everybody lives on it still.
I was gonna say, how much stalking do you do before you meet up with someone?
Um, before, I mean, not much at all.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
After when I figure out that, okay, I think I might like this person, let me see who the fuck this is. I've looked up, and judge me if y'all want to, motherfuckers, but I'm looking out for Chris. So I have in the past, I've looked up criminal records that were available through public access, whatever the fuck. You don't know who's out here. I've looked up criminal records. I've looked up social media. I've looked up like whatever public information is on certain people, and that was, kind of when you find that stuff, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of one of the things I was like, huh, about, let's just say, another girl that I was seeing, she didn't give me her actual legal name. And well, I searched
Mm.
this name, and now a new name's coming up. Well, who's this? Oh, that's the name that I used to have, and I'm moving on to a new name. All right, well, as somebody who isn't living in the city that you're living in, you want to, qualm all skepticism or any, suspicions, should probably tell the full story. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I've come across some things, and I'm like, huh, okay. Well, like everybody listening to this shit right now, if you have access to public records, criminal records are public, court cases, all that stuff is public, do your due diligence. Figure out who the fuck you're dealing with.
Agreed.
If there's any like assault charges or anything like that in their past, you can find that out pretty easily. I mean, heck, I got a $1 trial to like a background search website and just did it there. I didn't need anything other than the person's name, and I know how old they are. So I name, age, boom, found it, all that stuff. So yes, there is snooping, but I think snooping is healthy, and I think people should do that shit more often. Because I mean, motherfuckers ain't telling you who they really are or what's in their past like that up front. And in this grown folks' age of dating, you really got to protect yourself.
I
So
agree.
I'm just going.
I
It sounds
run.
crazy. I know it sounds crazy for me to be doing criminal background
It
checks
doesn't.
and seeing family member. Not, I don't really look at family member shit like that, but all that, the old phone numbers or numbers that they say are. I had it one time where my girl at the time had 2 numbers show up on her address. And I'm like, okay, there was 1 number. I'm like, well, what's this other number for? I'm sorry. Let me backtrack that because you're completely lost in this. So, very quick explainer. Sometimes in the trans community, there are women who are still engaged in sex work, and they attempt monogamy, and not a lot, but sometimes they lie to the guy and say, "Hey, I'm not doing this anymore," or "I'm not doing this," or "I'm not doing that anymore," and then lo and behold, the guys come across their ad on like a website for sex work, or they find an extra phone number, and then the other phone number leads them to X, Y, and Z. So, it's just something you got to deal with in this community. And not all the girls are sex workers, but there just have been guys that have been duped. And it isn't about accusing a community of anything. It's about protecting your feelings, because playing with folks' feelings is fucking bullshit. And, shit just happens. But yeah, background checks necessary. In fact, the girl I'm dating now, I was like, I'll save you that background check. I'll tell you what the fuck's on my record. I told her the charges that I had against me that were dismissed. They tried to pin resisting arrest on me for trying to run away from an underage drinking ticket in college. Really? Resisting arrest? Come on now.
Who wouldn't run away from that?
There's so many kids that run away from underage drink because you're 18, 19. Oh my God, my parents are going to kill me. I'm going to run. And you take off, and I got enough sense in my head. I just like, oh, you know what? I need to stop. And I just stopped. And they gave me my ticket, and I went home. No jail, no nothing. But, they still try to get me with resisting for running. Boo. Thank God that got out. Boo, campus police.
Something I kind of wanted to throw out there, just kind of playing devil's advocate of, I run background checks on anyone who joins my matchmaking system.
Oh, okay.
So I'm totally for background checks. But something I've been thinking about is, our parents, when they met, they probably never felt like they had to run a background check. What has changed?
Oh, I can tell you right now. Shit.
Tell me. What has changed that we feel so lied to all the time?
The world isn't as small. Like, the world was bigger back then. And a lot of the reason why people don't stay together, the reason why motherfuckers be stepping on their girls a whole lot more, like, it's a bigger world. Like, first off, back in the day, like, my dad met my mom at a, little community event. He knows her whole family. He knows people that know her whole family. They all know each other because they're all from the same city. They all grew up in the same city. So it's like the world was like much bigger, but it was like, these old communities were smaller, but people just kind of stay in their own little circles. Now, professionals, us millennials, we're moving everywhere. I move cities every couple of years. Don't nobody know me from shit. They ain't got no references. They don't know somebody that know me. There's nothing to check into. And in this age, it's just, you gotta protect yourself. And there just was a time where somebody was a part of a family that somebody knew somebody else across town or whatever else. Like, I don't know how it worked for your parents, but my aunts, uncles, they all married girls that they knew and guys that they knew in town. They met, like my aunt, her best friend's cousin is a guy that she married. And my uncle met some chick that he met at a church concert. And, she went to this church on this side of the city, but he knew somebody else that knew her family and they knew his family. And it was just like, I don't know. I think that's what's different now. We're just all over the place, and we're traveling, and it's just like, hi, I'm one stranger. Hi, you're one stranger. I know nobody you know. So I have nobody in your circles that will tell me the fucking truth. I got to find out myself. I find out if you beat up your last boyfriend, or if your boyfriend beat you up. One thing that happens a lot is people don't share their traumas. And now you got a mate. You got your mate proceeding as if things are normal. And let's say your girl was raped, or your girl was sexually assaulted, or something happened, and he touches her in a certain way, and it sets off a whole set of events. And he had no idea. I'm not saying you should be doing all that just to find that stuff out, but I'm just saying, like, people hide stuff, and it's just going in as prepared as possible is a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I am totally on the same page with you. It's like we have this whole wider net we can cast of people to meet. So
For sure.
it's good
Wait.
and bad.
Before we go back to Pearl, shout out
Oh,
Mike. What up, boy? What up? And Asha, friend of the show. Shout out. And now back to Pearl. Okay, what did you say? All right. The dynamics and how we operate is different to the time and period in which our parents met. Love, we are the disposable generation. That's interesting. I have met people. I have met people that thought that folks were disposable, and I'm just like, that's so weird. Some shit I definitely don't rock with. People are not disposable.
But I can kind of see how that mentality is happening in our generation, just because we have everyone at our fingertips. So people can seem more disposable because there's always someone else. There's may always be someone better or someone different. So I can kind of see where that disposable attitude could come from. And that's really one of my biggest qualms with dating apps. That's the mentality sometimes.
There's always better bitches on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Like that's another thing. Guys didn't, your options were in your neighborhood. Now my options is the whole fucking country. I can see some girl, damn, she look good. Let me jump in her DMs real quick. Man, I'm seeing all these girls and my girl, man, I'm gonna get back in his DMs and now I'm gonna go cheat and I'm gonna go do something else. Or now I'm seeing a whole lot of grass that looks greener to me on my phone every day.
Yeah.
Am I going to stay? It's a lot harder because I'm looking at greener grass all the time, swiping left, right, dating apps, Instagram, whatever. Like, I think that is a huge, huge piece of the puzzle as to why relationships just don't last as long anymore, just because folks just, I think, like she said, disposable. Like, yeah, you know what? I can go and I'm going to hop over here because it's better over here.
Yeah.
People just got options they didn't have before.
And something that's really interesting too about dating apps is I think the statistic is that 80% of people dating online never find someone there. Which
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
80% of people who are dating online don't find someone.
I didn't.
Online. Exactly. So, it's a really interesting thing that we get addicted to apps. You get a release of dopamine when you get a match. You get that chemical in your brain and you want more. It's the same, thing when you're gambling. It's the same reaction.
Okay. You saying that, but you ain't seen some of my matches. And I'm just like, yeah, we're going to delete that on out of here, homie. Like, guys swipe indiscriminately and then they end up with some shit. They be like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going.
Yes, if you're one of the guys that's like, swipe, 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 swipe.
That's most guys. Most guys are swipe, swipe,
I
swipe.
know. And the poor women then have so many matches. And this is probably why a lot of conversations die out.
Yeah. But I find that usually when conversations begin and I'm in it and I'm asking questions and I'm trying to engage right and left, it'd be some chicks out here that be flaky as fuck and they just like, they don't care. Like it's crazy. There was this girl that said she was into me. She said she, oh my goodness, you're so handsome. It's this and that. All right, whatever. And then, I'll hit her and then she'll get back to me like 2 days later. I'm like, the fuck? 2 days later? Okay. And she was just so slow and there was no sense of urgency or enthusiasm. While there was a little bit of enthusiasm once in a while, it was just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? I got her on video chat once and I'm in a relationship now. It's new. It's a new relationship. But when I got into it, I hit the girl and said, look, I can't give, I'm in the month and a half it took for you to like, since we started talking, I met somebody else and she was actually on top of her shit. And now I'm taken. So I can't give you any romantic energy anymore. Like, don't be sending me no pictures, none of that shit. Oh, but I really wanted to get to know you. And I'm like, the fuck? If you want to get to know me, like in a month and a half, you could have jumped on video chat more than once. This girl be on every day. Like people just be like super slow and just like, You don't think somebody else gonna swoop in and take that shit from you? Like, I don't know, folks. If you like somebody, be intentional and hop to it, because competition is out here. This internet is fierce. You are not competing against the people around you anymore. It is the whole world.
Oh my God. I have to tell you a funny story. I don't know if you know this one.
Funny stories. Let's go.
So for those of you watching and don't know me, I am engaged. My fiance's name is Kevin. He's amazing. But when we first started dating, this was like the slowest burn of any relationship ever. So complete opposite of what Chris is saying you should do.
You know what? I would have thought that would have been you. I thought you would have been that person to slow the shit down. Yeah.
It was me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you were enforcing the slow burn. Gotcha. Okay.
So we met online. We matched, and I remember it was the end of the year. It was like in 2017. And I jokingly said, okay, maybe let's meet up next year. Cause you know me, I was dating tons of guys at the time. And you know how it is. You got to date multiple people.
Yeah. Play the field. It's all good.
Exactly. And we eventually met up. It was a great date. I obviously really enjoyed it. And, I would take days to respond. We would maybe, we were on GChat a lot because we'd be messaging at work. And I remember I'd take forever. And I don't know if I was doing it intentionally. I have no idea. It took 4 months for poor Kevin to even convince me to be exclusive with him. Of course, it ended up working out. 4 months.
Kevin, I love you, man. God bless you.
I know. And you know what? He was dating other people at the time too. So maybe that's why it was okay. And then we eventually were like, you know what? It's okay if things take a little bit of time.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything works out. But you do have to, if he found someone who was maybe more responsive and spent more time with him, he very well could have just said, see you, Abby. I'm over your 10-day response time.
Oh my God. Come on.
It was never that bad.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, for me, it's, and I think it's true with some girls out there. Look, you want to know that other person's into you, and you want to feel some of that excitement. I'm not saying they got to be all over you all the fucking time, but
there's a fine line.
When you're taking it slow and somebody else is obviously more interested in you, okay, well now they have my attention because they're working for it harder. It's just the way it goes. And in this case, that happened. And I ain't gonna lie, I kind of threw a little shade at some folks out there when I posted on Instagram about it. I'm just like, look, y'all can't be belly aching about some shit and y'all weren't even doing what you were supposed to do. Like y'all wasn't pursuing me as hard as this other person was, and she beat y'all. So it is what it is.
You calling someone out?
No. Yeah, right. Some people. Abby worked with me for how long? Was it just like a year and a half? It felt longer because it was just such an intense environment that we were in.
Yeah. No, it was like a little over 2 years.
Okay, well, 2 years. We worked in live television, and it was very intense and always going. And it was just like you go through that work environment with some folks, you're like, all right, we done been through some shit together.
Shared trauma.
Yes, shared trauma. Now there is some trauma that I inflicted on Abby that I didn't share with her because I was just like, okay, now next take, do it better. But do it better than what you're doing. I would just say I'd be me.
if anyone here needs a good talent coach, just ask Chris. He'll whip you into shape.
Oh yeah, I get results. That's for sure. All right, let's see what Pearl is just with us. She's with us all day up in here. All right, see, there's a game we all play, a game of power. He or she who gives off their power, or probably gives away their power. Also, I want to be chased. So,
and sometimes play hard to
exactly,
get.
Sometimes you play hard to get.
And even if I was doing it not on purpose, maybe just subconsciously, I'm like, that's what I was doing. Even though I'm a matchmaker, I'm an expert in all this. I have made every mistake there is when it comes to dating. I have been there with all of you.
Hey, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. It happens.
Yeah.
But look, I'm gonna just say this. It's sometimes we play hard to get shit. Don't play too hard to get, because sometimes brothers ain't gonna chase all the time. And you can say, all right, well, he ain't the one. He could have been the one. I mean, motherfuckers don't got to go through niggas. I'm sorry, let me not say the N word all the time. Men should not have to go through a litany of trials and tribulations, all the time. Like, God damn, you just, I don't know. I just think sometimes you have to just make things or set things up in a way where guys can, you're approachable, you're not playing hard to get all the time. Like the games, that's some shit people get tired of eventually. I'm 37. I was tired of the games at 29. And like the girl I'm dating, I was just like, look, enough of the bullshit. You would have a problem if I went out with another girl right now, right? Now I have a problem if you went out and you was out with another nigga. All right, well, that means we together.
Done. There's the exclusive talk right there.
I ain't not playing no games. Like, well, are they going to say boyfriend, or are they going to ask me a certain? No. We're adults. Where are we at mentally? Let's be real. Don't be having these feelings and then trying to hold them back, and then, oh no, you can play the field and blah blah blah. While meanwhile you're feeling some kind of way. Fuck out of here. Be real. Now Ashley done said a whole conversation's worth of things, and I want to give her some space because she comes back to us routinely. So I've been single now for 4 years. I tried online dating once. Forgot I made a profile when I got an email reminder to check my profile. I had like 200 responses, most of them nasty. I got completely turned off, deleted that. Just rather meet someone in a Trader Joe's or mall somewhere that still works. Absolutely great. I just think that's a little idealistic in 2020. Meeting people in real places, like, I don't know. And that's cool. Like, you may see that dude, and I'm sorry, let me back that train over. What the fuck on up? Let's start that over. Okay. I just think like there are dudes that will shoot their shot on a stranger in the middle of a fucking Trader Joe's, and there are a lot more guys that won't. And I've never been of a mind to try and hit on a woman while she's grocery shopping. Like, I've just seen so much commentary for women like, look, I'm just out here trying to live my life, and I ain't here to get hit on at the gym, at the grocery store, at this. Can I just do my shit, please? Can y'all just leave me the fuck alone? That's the commentary I've heard from women, and I responded to that by not doing any of that shit. Now, I will hit on you at a bar, a club, any social place, because if you go out to those spaces and you don't want to be talked to, that's your fucking fault. Like, you shouldn't even be there. Don't go to a nightclub and say, I don't want nobody to talk to me, because you're in the wrong fucking place for that shit. Real talk. But look, I'm sure there are guys that will shoot their shot, and I'm sure, you'll find somebody once this COVID thing lifts up, Ashley, and you'll be good. It's just, I just know that there are a good amount of guys that they're just not that kind of dude where they're just running up on chicks in public. But they still may be good men for you. It's just, I don't know how to make, I don't know how to make that work. Commentary.
Okay.
Professional matchmaker.
I have so much to say right now.
Let's go.
So, I kind of disagree that you can't meet people in real life. Yes, I think.
I didn't say you can't.
Well,
I just said dudes might not run up on you in the mall or at Trader Joe's.
And I challenge the women that you can also approach men.
Yes.
Too. It goes both ways in our 2020 world and beyond.
But see, no, again, traditional gender roles and all that shit, Disney, Tyler Perry, all that shit fucked everybody up. So now I want to be chased. No, I ain't chasing no nigga, this, and this. Bitch, you better get out there and get your happiness. You better get on out there. Men are very amenable to women approaching them. And even if they're not feeling you, they'll be nice. They ain't gonna be like, yeah, no. Like, they ain't gonna shut you down in a mean way. At least most of the people that I know are not gonna be flat out mean about it. But if there's a guy that you like, he most likely will be amenable to you. And it's just like, I think it would catch him off guard, and he would be so open to it. It's like, whoa, wait, a girl's talking to me, approaching me. Wow, that's rare.
Yes, as a woman who does that all the time to both men and women, since I'm always talking to single people, if you lead with a compliment, not a creepy one, but maybe you're even just in a Starbucks all the time, I'll be like, "Hey, I love your hat. You look amazing today." And don't even, I don't even try to get a response. I'm just like, "Okay, I'll leave," And then they have that compliment, they feel great, and if they're interested in keeping the conversation going, then awesome. A compliment is the easiest way if you are in one of those situations in the real world to approach someone. We got to read this comment because it says I'm absolutely correct.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I thought you might like that one.
Abby is absolutely correct.
Yeah, read it. Yeah.
But I'm in NYC. The men are aggressive, so we just patiently wait. LOL. Yes, I can definitely see that in New York. I used to live there, so I completely get it. As the little Colorado girl who was totally shocked when she got there at how aggressive people are. It does depend on the city. In Denver, men probably would not be as much that way. Maybe Chris can attest to that as well.
Yeah,
but
Denver's a different spot for sure.
Yeah. But I think I wanted to go back to if you are a woman approaching a man, out in public, the only thing that maybe could put a guy off, and Chris, tell me if I'm wrong, is, when you approach a guy as a woman, you're very much in your masculine energy. You're taking the initiative. You are leading the conversation. So, a man then also has to then come into his masculine energy so that way you can have that conversation, and then, he can lead, maybe set up the date, ask you out, and all of that. So the only danger, at least from my perspective, would be that then the guy may be a little nervous to ask you out and set up a date.
Interesting.
What do you think about that?
Well, I would say, ladies, if you were to have any sort of conversation, and putting in scope of the audience here, obviously in the trans community, this can be very, very dangerous to just run up on some dude because you don't know what his proclivities are or anything like that. But I would say take all of this and put it into the digital world. Like, those guys that are Facebook friending you, or that guy that's in a group that he's saying a lot of good shit that you like, or you think he's cute. Like, really, making that first move is not something that's terrible. I think the only thing that really throws me off when women make the first move and they reach out is when they're overly sexual. That takes me, that pushes me out of it. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to see you as a lady, and you coming off super sexual on some, hey daddy shit. And I'm just like, okay, well, now you're just that hey daddy girl, and you're not an actual person that I would consider to be my lifelong partner.
It's not really demanding like the respect that you would want from someone who you want as a partner.
Yeah, I think so. It's just, it's not good. I don't like it, but I think that's the one thing that when women approach me, and that throws me off. And, hey, depending on the setting, we're at a club, late night, whatever, I might reciprocate that energy because at that point I feel it's appropriate. But, Trader Joe's, the mall, whatever else, Starbucks, not a library. You ain't gonna find me in no library. But I just think that's the only thing, the only hook to that, or just because I'm like, I don't know. And it ain't really for me when people do that shit. And the same thing with my DMs. When girls jump into my DMs and they're overly sexual, I'm just like, ugh. Okay, well, hi, nice to meet you. I'm going to keep you over here. And now you're the sex girl. And if you just came as just a regular ass person and not some sex being right off the bat, it might be a little bit different. And that works for some other people, and it doesn't for me. I'm just me. Yeah. Not speaking for all men, just speaking for Chris and the few guys out there that are like Chris. So,
totally. So Chris, I have a question for you. Sorry.
Wait. See, my man Mike, shout out to Mike. Yes, being overly sexual is unnecessary. We don't want that. What did Asher say? You are absolutely right, Abby. The masculine energy and female role reversal. For sure. It's a delicate balance, and as
as women, we have masculine and feminine energy. As men,
Mhm.
you have masculine and feminine energy. So it's just a matter of kind of being able to be in both, I think, makes a really good relationship.
I mean, if a girl pushed up on me super hard at a party, like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, I mean, if she looks all right, I'll give her a shot, and I'll holler at her. It'd be all good. Like, I wouldn't
If
just
she
be like,
looks
"Oh,
all right.
look." So first off, all attraction starts at physical. It all starts at physical. You can't get anywhere else without physical attraction first.
For men.
And ladies, and
Mm,
ladies.
I don't
Ladies are not going
know.
to date a man that they find physically unattractive unless he got loot. But here's what I will say. I almost got a laugh out of you on that one. Um,
I kind of held it
my
in because I didn't want to laugh over you talking.
my good friend, my good friend. I'm a quoter. I quote her all the time whenever this conversation comes up. My good friend Hope Giselle from the Can We Talk podcast. Check it out. It's dope. Look, one thing she said on a Zoom I did with her is, I can't date your personality. She's like, guys, I can't date your personality. All right, fair enough. And I've always known that attraction started with if the physical ain't popping, if you don't look at that person and see the beauty in that person, not going to work. It's never going to work if the person that you're with doesn't see beauty in you. They don't look at you and see something beautiful.
Okay, time out.
All right.
Beauty. Oh, see, Asha is with me.
Yes.
Beauty can be personality, charisma, passion. It doesn't have to, for women, it doesn't have to always be physical first.
Okay.
I have dated guys that look all way different. Guys that you might look at and be like, Abby, ugh. And other ones you'd be like, oh, good job.
Kevin,
So
good job.
okay, good. At least Kevin's not a
I feel you on that. And trust me, me being a bigger fellow, all of us bigger guys, we out here, look, we got jokes for days. We got game. That's why men develop game. We develop game because a lot of times our looks ain't gonna do it alone. So I come on my game, say what I need to say, talk this girl up, get the conversation rolling, make her laugh, peddle these jokes, and it makes shit work. And I feel you on that. Personality definitely can help. It can help for women too sometimes, but at the bare basic minimum, if the guy doesn't see beauty in the girl physically, it's never going to click. You'll get most of the way there, and it's never going to hit that point where shit's working.
Yeah.
Okay, look here.
I agree.
Miss Asha, this is not the Abby cheer section cheering podcast. This is Men Like Us with Chris Patterson. I want some more Go Chris's because she out here camping for Abby all day, and I'm feeling undersupported, but that's okay. We're going to talk about that later, Miss Thing.
Thank you, Asha.
All right. Oh, damn, Justin, ain't nobody finding attraction in my height. Look here. That's another thing. Women got preferences.
Height, it drives me insane. It drives me insane.
There are exceptions to preferences. I know girls will be like, yeah, I like tall men and this, and this. And then who they fall in love with? Dudes shorter than them. It happens so much when people have preferences, say, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then the person they actually fall in love with and that takes up space in their heart looks nothing like that.
So true. And really, confidence is one of the most attractive things. So, I work with guys who are on the shorter side, 5'5", 5'6". They don't have any trouble going on dates, meeting people because they're confident, Even if it's just those little things you do on a date, maybe texting the person you're looking forward to it, letting them know that you're going to pick them up or opening the car door, whatever it is, showing you're confident, can lead the way. That can go a very long way on a date.
And also in the trans community, specifically, I mean, look, we got a lot of tall girls in this community, and a lot of times they're taller than the guys that they're dating. And I think that's something that the girls are definitely used to, or at least they've become amenable to dating guys who are shorter than them. You know, but I mean, I get it. I get height can be a thing, but I just know, look, my main man, Lex Newman, he's not the tallest dude in the world, but you know, he never wants for attention. But you know, I just know it can't be a barrier. I get that, bro.
And I think too, you know, part of putting yourself out there in the dating world is first loving yourself. Sorry, Chris, I'm about to go on a soapbox
No,
here.
do your thing. Go.
It's, you know, about loving yourself, regardless of who you're trying to date or, you know, what sexual orientation or anything. It's all about loving yourself. So I think, you know, this pandemic has made it a great time to reflect, love yourself. Then you can put yourself out there.
Abby. But that's the thing about this community, about the trans community and the community of trans amorous men. The whole fucking group. There are a lot of people in these groups that don't love themselves. They don't really love themselves.
And that's really difficult to date when you don't accept your own flaws yet. You know, yeah. We all have them.
That's for sure. And yeah, I know I have my flaw. I'm not going to say just what it is. Asha's going to, say, ain't that a bitch? You and Asha. Okay. Beat up on Chris and support Abby show.
All right. Asha, we're in this together.
So before we dip out, I want to do one more thing. Oh, well, no, I'm not going to do that. So so we talked about problems you're seeing in single people looking for relationships. Mm-hmm. And I know you kind of had a list. So rattle off some of the things that you're seeing in the single people out here that, you know, that's usually a problem.
Yeah.
Like what are the problems you're seeing in the clients or just folks you run into, whatever?
Yeah. You know, I think across the board, the first one is, you know, confidence or a lack of confidence. So that again kind of starts with the self-love. So I think that's a really important thing. Another one is, oh, Chris, you're getting some love. Do we have to pause?
Fuck yeah. What up, Mike? See my homies be here. I got Mike, got Justin. I'm good.
I feel if we're keeping score, I'm winning.
You're winning.
I don't know.
You're winning.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's one thing is people are, you know, accepting their own flaws, loving themselves. Second thing is not truly knowing what you want. Either being too open or too closed off. So, you know, I would challenge people listening, write down a list.
What this want from a nigga? Uh-oh.
Exactly. Yeah. Write down your list. What are the, you know, and don't make it super long because that's also an issue. You know, maybe put down the top 10 things you're looking for and then keep it to 3 deal breakers. You know, think about that list. Read it to yourself.
Just 3?
I allow people up to 5 deal breakers. If you have more than that, I'm questioning.
Yeah, I got a problem. I know this. That's good. I found somebody who can deal with all my problems though so far.
Okay, wait. What are the deal breakers? First one is no social media. Is that a deal breaker?
Not completely.
Okay, so what are your 5 then?
Oh, I don't know. I got a bunch of just shit. And I'm like, yeah, I'll make that amount. I'm not going to go through all that shit. But my friends know that Chris has an extensive checklist of things that need to be checked in order for him to be like, you know what? I'll do this. So, anywho, keep your checklist short, apparently. Keep your checklist short. That's no. I'm telling everybody else to keep your checklist short. That's your point, right?
Yes.
All right.
And write it down. I mean, I feel like personally, when I want to accomplish something, I write it down. It happens. So write it down. If you're into meditating, meditate about it. Think about the values that you want in a partner that you're looking for. The other thing that I notice is, you know, people kind of not living in the present. A lot of people are just like, okay, I want to get married and it has to happen by the end of the year. Or I want to have kids and it needs to happen in the next 3 years. So really
I see that a lot in this community. I see that a lot. in the
It
trans community.
happens
Just saying.
so much. And I think, there's this pressure from our families, our friends, society to, settle down, have the white picket fence, as we were talking about earlier, and have kids. But I think really living in the present and making sure you settle down with the right person, not just the person who can give you marriage, kids, whatever your relationship goals are. So I think those are really the top 3 things that I run into. And, the fourth one is really people just not being open. I think that this is why I say keep the deal breakers to a minimum. Because when I have seen people have the most success, they're open-minded, their heart is open, they're just generally open to finding someone. Maybe they're 5'5" or maybe they're 6'5", but they have the values you want, they're kind, they're compassionate, they're, have integrity, whatever it might be, and being open, opening your heart to whatever might come and giving people a shot, maybe let them have those 3 dates. But if it's a hard no, don't have to do 3 dates.
All right, ladies, give the brothers a shot. God damn.
Exactly.
You know what? Something else I got to throw in there, though, is like, I guess, I think you covered this. Just know what you want. I think a lot of people in the trans dating space don't know what they want. And they jump into some shit. And, I always I ask people this all the time. What does happiness look like to you? What is your end goal? Like, where are you comfortable and where are you most happy right now? And, it's for some folks, it's still doing whatever they're doing that ain't relationship shit, or I'm looking for this relationship, whatever else. But like, I just think that a lot of times people don't do the necessary work to put themselves in the best space to be able to maintain relationship. Like, real talk, fellas, if you out there, I'm not saying money is everything, but try and have a job. Like, show this chick that you can hold something down. Like, you ain't got to be the richest motherfucker in the world, but show some hustle. Like, I mean, if a chick sees you out there grinding and working and just trying to make it, even whether you getting stacking a lot of cash or not that much, like, I don't know. I just think that just people want shit and they're not willing to do the work or set themselves up to be ready for it. And I see that often out here. And I mean, there's an elephant in the room on that one, and I'm just going to leave that shit alone right now because I've talked about it enough on this podcast. So.
Oh, I have one more. One more. People not knowing how to date.
Ooh.
I think that we all think we're born knowing how to date. We're not born knowing calculus. We're not born knowing how to be in social situations. You learn through experience, or maybe by working through a dating coach, matchmaker, whatever it might be. I find a lot of people come to me. They're like, I've never been in a relationship. I've been on 2 dates ever. So, go and go and have experiences. Put yourself out there. Maybe use it as a learning experience.
Well, the problem for the girls in this community is, a lot of the guys that they run across are like really looking at them at like their literal sexual objects. So like, and I mean, between transitioning at a certain point in life and then the pool of guys they have to deal with, they are very low on experience in this community. And, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they got to talk to you and the dating coach to figure out how to date, really. Because I mean, girls, and like I think I mentioned this before, but there's just a mismatch between the two communities, between the guys and the women, because the guys are coming in from cis world land and they dated a bunch of girls through high school, college, wherever, and then these girls come in and they're like, "Well, I've only been out on one date, or I've never been out on a natural, real date with a man in a restaurant." Maybe their experience is I've only been with guys who are only willing to eat with me in private in our apartment, and we always get takeout. We never eat in the restaurant or something like that. And I think there is a mismatch on experience, and that leads to problems and miscommunications because the guys are just like, man, what's wrong with these girls? Like, why is she even doing this? And it's just like she doesn't have any experience. She don't have any knowledge on how to do this, and also some in this community, there's just not that many people modeling behavior. So they can't look over there and say, oh, that's what a relationship looks like.
Mm-hmm.
With somebody like me, that's how that shit looks. So it's a whole lot of things just stacking on top of each other where, we have these guys with all this experience and we think things should go a certain way. And then we end up engaging with women who just sometimes just have no scope of how to date or maintain a healthy, non-transactional relationship with a man. And it's just like all of this stuff. And I don't know what the answer is to kind of help catch women up or make it so that they can more easily transition into healthy romantic relationships or just dating healthily. But I don't know if it's the dating coach or just more therapy or talking to a matchmaker like yourself. I don't know what the answer is.
I have a possible answer.
Oh, okay. Better than nothing.
I have people, I work with primarily, straight men and women, but that doesn't mean that I don't work with people of all kind of backgrounds and, sexual orientations and preferences. And I meet all kinds of people. They're like, I've literally never been on a date. And I take them through practice dates. We go and I will be there, for maybe the first two, and we'll be like, okay, here's how to have a conversation. Here's what is going to go down. Here's how to calm yourself down if you're nervous, and then we move on to practice dates without me and, getting feedback and all of that. So it may sound silly, but, NFL players don't just go on the field for the first time and are amazing. They practice for hours and hours. So
Truth.
Dating is exactly, something you can practice and get better at. And, anyone who's listening who maybe feels like they would like to get some insight, I would be so happy and open to talking to anyone. So I'm sure Chris will put my info somewhere if anyone wants to reach out.
Maybe I will promote you and maybe I won't. We'll see.
Well, then we'll leave Chris to the dating coaching.
Oh no, y'all gonna be alone forever if you leave it up to me. God damn it.
Everett has to go on a date with Chris and then he'll give you feedback.
All right, so I'm gonna give him your IG. Do you want the social modern or the modern Yenta?
Do modern Yenta, because
okay.
I don't manage the other one.
All right, y'all. You can find Abby right here. Oh, right here.
It's mirrored.
And it starts right now.
Oh my God. We gotta find an old clip.
Oh, we got to. Sorry, y'all. That was something that she used to do on the show that we did. Yeah, on IG, Modern Yenta. Find Modern Yenta. Hit her up. Yeah. I'm sure there's some extra advice or sessions or something you can do with her to get you prepped for dating life. If you've never been on a date, like I'm telling you, just having this practice will help out so much because it'll put the guy at ease because now you're acting a whole lot more natural. Because a lot of times we step into this, we're like, well, I don't know how. Either we assume everything's going to just go regular, and then when it doesn't, we're just like, okay, this is weird. Now what do I do? Like now I have this like person that just doesn't even know how to interact on my hands. But I think this is valuable. It's worthy. So y'all please follow Modern Yenta on IG. Hook up with her, get some sessions in, get some practice dates. And
yeah. And I was going to say too, even though I'm, just matchmaking in Colorado right now, I have a great network of people all across the country. So wherever you're located, I can connect you with a matchmaker in your city too.
There you go. Matchmakers work. They do good work out here.
Yeah.
Shit. And look, like I said in the beginning of the show, I just want folks to come together. I just want people to be happy. I mean, and I think that's in this trans community and in this community of trans amorous men. I mean, it's just folks that just want to come together. And, right now we, oh my goodness, here we go. See, Asha, why are you doing this? Why are we doing this?
Asha, I will tell you, I work just as much with men. Yeah.
This is not just on women. It is. This is a man show. Get out of here. No. No, ladies, don't leave. I'm just talking shit. But yeah, Modern Yenta. Find her. Ladies, guys, fellas, everybody. And you know what? There are guys in this transgenders community that they're probably inexperienced on dates too. I mean, it's very possible. There are all sorts of people that need help. So get it. And if you don't live in Colorado, she'll connect you with somebody.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
let's see if I got anything else here. I think that's all I got for you on my questions and topics. So I want to thank you for coming on the show. Thank you, Abby, my good friend Abby.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun, and I love everyone's comments. If you ever need me back on, I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure Asha is gonna hit you up because y'all are like best friends now. This is
we are. Yeah, Asha, you got to send me a message.
Oh wait. Oh yep. See. All right. Followed. All right.
Oh, thanks, Meg.
Yep. Meg, Pearl. All right. So.
And Pearl. Awesome.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Please, everybody watching this, go to YouTube, subscribe to Men Like Us podcast on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. Go to your podcasting platforms on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe. Give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Go to the Ghosted podcast and give that a 5-star rating as well. Give it a great review. Listen to it. There are some interesting relationship conversations on there. That's for sure. So I guess without further ado, it was awesome. Again, y'all don't know. Like, this is like a sort of reunion for us here.
It is.
We
so
were
overdue.
It's so overdue for sure. So we'll probably do this again at some other point. But thanks for joining, and everybody, please be safe out there during these horrible pandemic times. All right, be safe, date, have fun, explore in a responsible manner.
Agreed. Thank you.
I forgot what like talk about responsibility. God damn. All right, y'all.